Good morning. I would like to take this wonderful opportunity in thanking the MBA department of DG Vaishnav College for having such a thought-provoking idea of conducting this conference in this lockdown period. I am K. Rao Prashant Jyoti from BBA department, and my co-author is D. Prem Kumar sir from BCom CS department. And the topic what we have taken is influence of competency mapping and commitment of ITS employees in Chennai city. Okay, the significance of this topic. Basically, HR is the very important thing in today's world. If we take business, the main motto of the business is to earn profit. For earning profit, if it is in production sector, the main capital is being held with the raw materials. But whereas in service sector, the main capital is invested in HR. Almost 80% of the capital is invested in HR. We would have come across so many companies that even though the profitability of the company is very high, we would have heard that only some 20 to 30% of the employees are very effectively working, and some employees are working, and some employees are trying to work, and some employees are trying to manage as if they are working. So if 20 to 30% of the employees are working effectively and the company is able to make profit, then think if the employees 100% are working with 100% commitment, then think the profitability of the company. So it is becoming very essential for ITS companies to select competent employee. So my study is on what is competency, and if competent employee is there, will he be committed or not. So basically getting into the competency, what do you mean by competency? Now, the competency is nothing but personality, proficiency and potentiality. This is nothing but 3 P's, and which can be otherwise called as knowledge, skill and attitude. If a person is having these 3, will he be committed? Coming back to commitment, we have 3 kinds of commitment. One is effective commitment, and the other one is continuous commitment, and the third one is normative commitment. What is this effective commitment? We have a desire to work in that particular establishment. For example, if I'm working in an organization, I'll have the desire. I want to work in this company and I want to work for this company. That is what I call it as desire. And continuous commitment is I'm working in this particular organization for the past 10 to 15 years, and my service in this organization is very long. That is what we call it as continuous commitment. And the last one is normative commitment, is psychological factor. I'm emotionally embedded with the company. So this is what we call it as psychological commitment, which is also can be said as normative commitment. So what is the need for the study? See, we have come across so many articles where there was so many discussions on what is competency, and there are so many other articles which also says about what is commitment and what is a requirement for commitment. How do we motivate the employees, how to get the work done from the employees. We have so many studies, but I have not come across studies which are trying to relate this competency and commitment of the employees. So I try to attempt to make a study on competency and commitment. The objective of the study is competency related with commitment, and also the objective of the study is to derive a model to understand what is this competency is all about. If a student need to be competent and if an employee need to be competent, what are the requirements he should have? So that is what we are looking into. What are the methods that I have done for the researches? The method what we have done is, it is analytical and descriptive research. I have used both primary and secondary data for the research. Secondary data has been collected with the reviews related to the commitment and competency, and the study area what I took for the research is within the Chennai city. It is all with this ITES companies, and with this SEZ zone, special economic zone, that zone I have took into the research. And the sample size of my research is approximately it is 600. I have circulated 600 samples, whereby I got some 525 samples back, in which 515 samples were usable. I would like to give a small suggestion. If any research scholars are here, it is always better to go for a interview session. Even though if you have a questionnaire, it is better to have a introductory, and you can have an interview session and get the data, because I had a very difficult time in collecting the data. This data collection took a very lot of time, so it is always better that we can have the questionnaire and we can ask and fill it. That will be better. And the tools what I've used for the research is ANOVA, regression, univariate and multivariate tools are the basic tools I have used for the research. What is the hypothesis of the study now? The hypothesis: there is no significant relation between competency mapping and commitment. But according to the results what I have used, the result what I have arrived is, the hypothesis is rejected at 0.05%. Okay, and this is the most important slide, whereby we should I'm getting into the details of what is competency and what is commitment, and altogether what is all the stuff. This is what I have derived from my research, so I'm going to take some time in explaining this particular research. What do you mean basically by competency? Now, if at all a student or an employee is willing to do something, and if he's doing that particular thing, he will be committed. That is what I wanted to derive. For example, if a mother is having twins, and if one guy is expected to study and if other guy is expected to play, definitely we all know that the guy who is engaged in playing will enjoy his time, and the guy, to some extent, I'm not trying to generalize my statement, to some extent the guy who is engaged with education and who is engaged with books, homeworks and notebooks will have a tough time. The basic psychology what it says is, if a guy is very much interested towards one particular thing what he wanted to do, he will have a very nice time of doing that particular thing. Normally, if we take the current scenario and the current situation during the employment or during the campus interview, what is the psychology of the student is, a student, if a company A is paying him 20,000, if the company B is paying 30,000, if a company C is paying 40,000, and if the question is arising which company you want to select, now the student will be telling that I want to go for the company C. No matter, he will not raise the question what is the work, where I have to work, and what will be the nature of my job, and what is my degree, is my work is related with that particular profile, will I be comfortable or what? All these questions are secondary, but first and foremost thing, he is thinking about the salary. Immediately after thinking about the salary, as he's being somewhat good in English and is having some skills, he's trying to enter into the company, whereby he's not able to survive in that particular form for more than 1 year or 2 years because of something which is called a stress. This stress is arising for a student or an employee because he is not competent enough to take the job. So what is basically this competence is? Abdina, the competence is again knowledge, skill and attitude. What builds this knowledge, and what builds this skill, and what builds this attitude? That is what we are going to study in detail, and that is what the model being derived. If at all there is a student who is observing this particular session, he can sit and analyze himself. If he is having all these factors, he is ready to get a job and he will be happy in his life because he is competent enough to get his job. The first and foremost thing, individuality, proficiency skills, managerial ability and professional skills. What do you mean by individuality? Now, the very important thing is, most of the things we do rely upon others. What is this? Abdin question we will keep asking. We are not trying to be independent. If a student is very independent, he can be a good employee. If the employee is independent, he will have a good idea. He should have some managerial ability and he should have some professional knowledge. This all combined to this can be called as proficiency. And the second one is, he should be having emotional bonding with the place where he is working for. We would have come across so many employees stating that I am not satisfied with the current company where I am working for. This should not be the statement. I am very happy in my company and my company is giving me so much of respect and my company is treating with dignity, so I like my company. That should be the mindset of the employee. So the emotional bonding, he should be having the time management and he should be having initiative in the sense we try we wait others to tell job for us. This should not be the category of the student whereby the employee should try to take up the own task and he should try to enrich his work. And the next one is profession selection. All together this can be combined as personality. And the last one is called potentiality. In this potentiality we are going to talk about multitasking skills. I can do one job at one time. It is not going to work in future. You should be capable of doing multiple jobs at a time. You should be independent and you should have definitely technical skills. Our students are very good in fidgeting with the mobile, very good in accessing Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, etc., etc. But when the question is asked, are we good enough to handle Excel sheets? Then we arise with the doubts. So technical skill is not about fidgeting the mobile. Technical skills is all about handling the system in a very perfect way. We should able to have some basic knowledge about the machine, whereby we have good technical skills, and we should have a goal setting. After 3 years or after 5 years, what will be your profile? Now you should be able to be in a position to tell what is going to be your profile. So that is what we call it as goal setting. All together, this is what we call it as potentiality. So proficiency, personality, potentiality, all these three factors can be said as commitment. All these three factors can be said as competency. This competency, if an employee is having this, all the factors above said 15 factors, definitely that employee will be committed, and that is what I have derived from my research. The limitations of the study. My study is limited only to Chennai city, and this study is applicable only with ITES sector, and this study is time bounded. Finally, I would like to conclude my session, because as it is a technical video recorded session, I don't know the time limit. I don't want to take more of others' time, so I would like to finish the session within the given time. I would like to conclude by saying that competency is a very, very important factor for commitment. If an employee is competent enough, definitely that employee will be committed to his work. That employee need not switch on from the work, and that employee will not have complaints saying that he is filled with stress, and that employee will never say that I want to shift from a job. He will be very, very a happy employee. And the employees who are much competent and the employees who are much committed, they will never suffer from Monday blues. Finally, a happy, committed and competent employee will be a very happy employee, and he'll see to that his atmosphere is also very, very happy. Thank you for creating this opportunity. Thank you one and all. Thank you.